Hey everybody, Hooligan Actual here. So today we're going to talk about the war on Christmas. Happy holidays, season's greetings, or Seinfeld's famous Happy Festivus. Somehow using these non-holiday specific statements is an attack on Christians. Ignoring the fact that nearly every culture and religion holds some sort of holiday or festival to celebrate the winter solstice, how is including more people in a greeting an attack on an individual? For example, if a friend of mine is standing in a group, I might say, "Hey everybody," rather than only greeting the friend. I did not attack my friend by doing this. I am not oppressing the individual by greeting the others as well. Now you might argue that not putting up a Christmas tree on state, town, or business grounds is an attack on Christians. Or you might consider that putting up only one holiday's decorations is an attack on the others. Or perhaps promoting a religion? Not such a big deal for a business, but that is a big no-no for government. Separation of church and state and all that. Now, if you want to put the Christ back in Christmas, you might need to reconsider some of your traditions, as many of them have different backgrounds than you think. For example, the Christmas tree. Evergreens have long been associated with rebirth, eternal life, and the divine. Romans celebrated Saturnalia with boughs from the trees. Druids decorated their temples with evergreens, and the Vikings thought the plants were representative of their god Balder. The modern tradition of the Christmas tree likely didn't begin until the 16th century in Germany, with the Protestant reformer Martin Luther. In fact, until around 1840, it was very rare to see Christians have a tree for Christmas in America outside of Pennsylvania German settlements. The Puritans even went so far as to ban any sort of decorations or celebrations, other than a church service, on Christmas in order to curtail the so-called pagan traditions. So arguing that stores and towns not putting up Christmas trees is somehow oppressing Christians is a little bit silly. So how about Santa Claus? Most know the origins of Nicholas of Myra, the Greek bishop and Christian saint in the 4th century. However, legends of a bearded man flying through the night sky during the winter solstice giving out gifts far predate him. Odin, the All-Father of Norse mythology, rode Sleipnir. Probably pronounced that wrong. But he's an 8-legged flying horse, and he's heavily associated with Yule, which is the North celebration for midwinter. Children would leave their boots near the fire, filled with carrots, hay, and other offerings for the horse, and Odin would reward those children as he flew by with gifts in the boots. Sounding familiar? In addition, Sleipnir was thought to have inspired the legend of Santa's reindeer, the 8 reindeer representing the 8 legs. Rudolph wasn't added until 1939 due to a children's book. So fine, still Jesus' birthday, right? We should still recognize the night that Mary gave birth to Jesus in a manger, right? When was Jesus born? Well, religious scholars don't believe that Jesus was born in winter, due to the mention in the Gospel of Luke of shepherds in the field. Not only that, but consider the long journey the pregnant Virgin Mary took from Nazareth to Bethlehem. Would you really embark on such a voyage in the dead of winter with no heat? Not likely. Well, what about the manger? The most famous depictions of Jesus' birth are in a stable. This one looks like 2 dinosaurs fighting over a chainsaw, if you look at it the right way. The Bible doesn't say stable, though. It says manger. Now, Merriam-Webster defines it as an open box in which food for animals is placed. So it's like a trough. Now, quick anecdote. While I was a soldier in Iraq, my unit and I pulled over a vehicle that seemed to have a strange weight distribution under suspicion it might be carrying a bomb. So we walked up to the vehicle, and I realized it was full of sheep. The driver barely had room to drive. We explained through the interpreter the situation and asked him to pop the trunk. He obliged, and I circled around the back to see his family in the trunk, smiling and waving. His wife and 2 kids. Now, culture like that values their animals enough to ride in the trunk so that the sheep can ride in the cab. You think they were leaving their animals outside to eat? This is especially poignant if you still believe the event happened in the winter. Now, research into ancient Palestine gives you an idea of how likely it would be that the animals stayed inside the house. This prevented theft, it kept everyone warm, it was common practice. So So the manger was likely inside the house. But no room at the inn. So as far as I can tell, that's a mistranslation. Now, I'm not a Bible scholar, but reading some experts' opinions on ancient Palestinian culture and Hebrew interpretations, I feel I can safely surmise that was actually meant, rather than there is no room at the inn, so we put him in the stable, it was more along the lines of we didn't have room in the guest house, so we let him stay in the family area. Considering Middle Eastern customs of hospitality, structures of ancient homes in the area, and the linguistics of the translation from Hebrew, this makes the most sense. So if Jesus was born according to the story in the Bible, it wasn't in a stable. So to summarize, separation of church and state shouldn't allow Christmas trees on public thoroughfares anyway, so quit getting butthurt when they don't go back up next year. Most of your customs are stolen from pagans anyway, and finally, you're not the only ones with a holiday this season. You're not entitled to a monopoly on the winter solstice. Suck it up. Learn to share. Hooligan Actual out.
If you enjoyed that, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also share it with your friends, check out my other videos at the provided links, and check out my Twitter, link in the description. If you have any other topics you'd like to see me tackle, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.